The electoral exercise in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has failed to ease the region's political crisis. Polling has been marred by protests, violence, boycotts, and the postponement of voting in several constituencies. With the Joint Awami Action Committee continuing its agitation, questions are mounting over public trust and the credibility of an election conducted amid deep political discontent. Our report.
What was meant to be a democratic exercise in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has instead unfolded against a backdrop of protest, violence and growing public distrust. The elections were conducted in phases with polling held on July 27 and August 2. The final phase was held on August 10 in just 4 constituencies in Bagh and Haveli. But voting could not be conducted in 7 constituencies across Poonch and Sudnoti after the Election Commission postponed polling indefinitely, citing law and order concerns. The disruption came after deadly clashes and weeks of agitation led by the Joint Awami Action Committee.
जो इलेक्शन का एक सिलसिला है वो बाग वाली साइड पे, रेड़ा वाली साइड पे, हवेली वाली साइड पे वो चल रहा है। उसमें यह है कि मैक्सिमम जो अवाम है उसने उसको मुस्तरद कर दिया है और वो एक्शन जो इलेक्शन की ये कैंपेन है उसको जो आम अवाम है उसने मुस्तरद किया हुआ और उससे बाइकआउट किया हुआ है। कई जगहों पे पोलिंग हो ही नहीं सकी और जहाँ पे कहीं हुई भी है वो 1% या 2% हुई है, वो भी बंदूक के जोर पे हुई है। तो इलेक्शन का बाइकआउट है। और एक और चीज का इलेक्शन कमेटी ने अनाउंस की थी कि इलेक्शन का बाइकआउट हमारी तरफ से किसी जबरदस्ती पे अवाम के साथ ये नहीं कहा जा रहा कि अवाम जो जा रही है उनको डंडे मारने के लिए कभी भी नहीं कहा जा रहा कि आप जाके वोट ना कास्ट करें। यहाँ से कहा गया कि सिर्फ बाइकआउट करना है हमने और पुरअमन रहते हुए हमने इलेक्शन का बाइकआउट करना है।
The election boycott has become another flashpoint in a crisis that has been building for months. The Joint Awami Action Committee has opposed the electoral process over a range of political and governance issues, including the controversial 12 seats reserved in the Assembly for refugees from Jammu and Kashmir. The group has also demanded the release of detained protesters, withdrawal of cases, and implementation of its wider charter of demands. Pakistan's response has increasingly been defined by restrictions and force rather than political reconciliation. Road closures and communication restrictions have accompanied the unrest, while the region has witnessed clashes between protesters and security forces.
See, the political institutions in Pakistan are under a big question mark. The Joint Awami Action Committee is the strongest in Poonch, where these elections have got deferred for 7 of the seats over there. In both Muzaffarabad and the Mirpur elections held, they say that about 53% voted in Muzaffarabad, about 46%. Other than what that earlier years that voted 60%, all these are fudged, absolute fudged elections, because the Pakistanis want to show that everything is all hunky-dory, knowing fully well that from June 5th, ever since they declared this Joint Awami Action Committee a terrorist organization. Can you imagine political activists who are being declared as terrorist organizations? There has been chaos for bad governance, human rights violations.
The violence surrounding the elections has also triggered a wider international spotlight on Pakistan's handling of dissent in the territory it controls. India has now called on the international community to hold Pakistan accountable for what it described as a gross human rights violation in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. At a media briefing, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randeep Jaiswal said public discontent in the region had been met with repression, bullets and blackouts.
We continue to follow developments across the world. At the same time, I would like to highlight that we have seen the kind of human rights violations that were committed in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and other parts of that country. We call upon the international community to hold Pakistan accountable for its misdeeds, for its abuses, and for flagrant violation or gross violation of human rights.
Jaiswal said more than 90 people had been killed in recent months during the crackdown on protesters, while many more were injured. The figure reflects India's assessment of the violence and comes amid conflicting accounts from the ground, with communication restrictions making independent verification difficult. But the political message from PoJK is becoming harder for Islamabad to ignore. An election held amid protest, an organized boycott, and constituencies where polling could not even take place has done little to restore confidence. And the agitation is far from over. And with public discontent still simmering on the streets, Pakistan's electoral exercise in PoJK appears to have exposed rather than resolved the deepening crisis of political legitimacy in the region.